kind of get into the question in a moment. Can you kind of assess how the game was on your point of view?
Yeah, frustrating. We start the game off with 2 drives offensively down inside their territory, and one we missed the field goal. And second one we get a sack fumble. Just 11 penalties and turnovers. You can't win with that, and that's what we did. We had 11 penalties and I don't know how many, 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and maybe 3 fumbles and interception. So anyway, and then defensively, I thought we played really well overall. In the first half, they had a scramble that got down to the 2, and we stopped them for nothing. But they also threw a fade ball for a touchdown. And he's a big, strong, good receiver, and our DP was really in great shape. He just missed it by a couple inches, and that's the one play we gave up, the touchdown for the game. So, just too many penalties and turnovers to win.
Situation like this, Coach, where there is a lot of turnovers and things go that way, is there much you can tell to the team as far as preventing it from future games?
Penalties, that's just discipline on our part, being able to handle snap counts and that kind of thing and get the ball snapped on time, don't hold. I mean, that's, just basic fundamentals. As far as turnovers go, no. We've been good at taking care of the football, and obviously St. Louis did a really good job today of getting it out, stripping it, and making those plays to get the ball turned over.
Yes, and I wanted to get your opinion on what the fans have been kind of in my ear a lot about is Chuck Long as far as an offensive coordinator. What are you seeing from him?
I think Chuck does a great job.
Okay, good. And finally, Jaden Price, you mentioned it. He did make some great plays out there. He just unfortunately that one play that's
right.
That
he had a really good game. Made a lot of breakups, a lot of tackles. He plays really well, and you live in that man-to-man world. Every now and then, it's going to happen.
And finally, for the team, for the Renegades fans, can they still believe that this team could come back and get back to St. Louis and win a championship?
Absolutely. I mean, we did it, a while back in 23. So, so we're in better shape than we were at that time.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
Coach, obviously a tough loss in pretty much every aspect of the game. 11 penalties, I know you touched on it already. Do you think the crowd noise had any impact on some of those penalties, especially offensively, or was it more so just a lack of execution and discipline?
I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from the fans. I'm sure it did to some degree, but we've had home games where we've had this many penalties. So it's just, it's unfortunate we can't get it corrected.
Luis Perez, kind of struggled tonight. He had a hard time under pressure, was not incredibly mobile as the pass rush got to him often. Were there any thoughts about sticking Holton Allers into the game, or was there any conversation that went on that end?
No.
Oscar says, Coach, it was a heartbreaking loss, but beyond the result, does the team look close to the level that you want?
No, not really. The discipline of penalties, it's something, that I detest as a coach. And you put yourself behind the chains in a lot of those situations. It's hard to overcome it. So, no, I don't feel we're where we need to be at all. And like I said, up to this game, we had been really good taking care of the football, and for whatever reason, tonight we weren't able to do that. And and in Luis's defense, sometimes people put all the interceptions on him. One of our receivers ran the wrong route. and he wasn't where he's throwing the ball expecting him to be a certain spot, and he wasn't. So, so that's uncharacteristic of what we've been doing, but that gets back to, doing the right things, like not having penalties, running correct routes, take care of the football. Those are all pretty fundamental basics to winning.
Last question. You can go ahead, James.
Coach, I wanted to ask about that timeout that you took with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. What did you kind of see in that situation, and what was the reasoning behind the timeout?
Naturally, just to get him to have to snap the ball again, right? I had one. You don't get any bonus points for keeping it. Thank you.
Guys, we just have Luis here, so first question, Alan.
Sorry about the loss, Luis. And can you just kind of talk about this game and your overall assessment, and then I'll kind of get into some of the questions.
Yeah, it's hard to win with that many turnovers and that many penalties. I'll start off with that. So, but credit to St. Louis. They did a good job. They coach well. They're a good football team. But, yeah, you just can't win as a football team with that many penalties and that many turnovers.
And it did seem, as team-wise, that it seemed to us watching the game that crowd noise was becoming an issue. Would you say that was an issue with the penalties?
That was part of it. Yeah, whether it was false start or illegal shift, whatever the penalty was, part of it did have to do with that.
And as far as pressure is concerned, did you feel this game had more pressure than others, or it was kind of like the same?
They're really good up front. Pita, Feeney, and all those guys. I mean, they do a really good job. They're good football players, and they did a good job tonight.
And the fans, I'll kind of ask you this question: is the fans are kind of hoping that this team can rally back and come back here to the Dome and win it? Do you feel confident they can still come back and win this championship?
Are you talking about the Renegades, you're saying?
As far as coming back to the Dome and winning the whole championship, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I mean, as a team, we're trying to look one game at a time. But yeah, it's cool to come back here and, maybe we come here again for a playoff or championship. But again, one game at a time. That's all we can focus on right now.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I'm probably late to the party. Did you talk about what they did defensively to just kind of what is your offense?
I mean, they mixed up coverage. That's typically what they do against me teams. But yeah, I would just say, I was talking about you can't win as a football team when you have that many turnovers and that many penalties. You're just not going to win. And that's one thing we got to emphasize this week is, limit the penalties and the turnovers and, continue to move forward from there.
Okay, Luis has a question, Oscar has a question for you, but he wants you to answer in Spanish. What is the sensation after the game and the mindset for the week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough, sorry, in Spanish, yeah. Es un momento, pues, no muy bien ahorita, perdimos, y cómo perdimos el último momento con el fumble último, pero ahorita es nada más tratar de mejorar, limitar los turnovers y los penalties y esta semana atacarla duro y estar listo para Michigan.
Okay, two more. James?
Louisa, you lost Kalen Balaj in the backfield kind of midway through that game. How did that impact the offense and just the overall production?
Yeah, Kalen's a great football player, so when he's not playing, it's tough too. Hope he's doing all right. But, yeah, I mean, we have full confidence in the rest of the guys, but, Kalen is a really good football player.
What was kind of your evaluation of the offense and the struggles that you had tonight against the fierce St. Louis pass rush and just not being able to get into a rhythm?
Yeah, I think the rhythm started with, penalties, right? We get a couple first downs, and then we're behind the chains, and then we have to punt, and then whether it's turnover, whether it's miscommunication, whether it's not getting something on the headset, whatever the case may be, there was always something. that we can never get into a rhythm. But yeah, credit to their front. They do a really good job. Peter and Feeney and those guys interior guys are really good too. So credit to those guys.